Hello everybody, welcome. Just wanted to share with you some of the results that we had from the salt firing that I spoke about, that local salt firing over in Zion, which is about 30 minutes from here. I was invited to participate in a salt firing, as I am occasionally invited to do, which is very nice because I don't have a salt kiln here, and I'm really green, you know, when it comes to salt firing. I really don't know a lot about it, and until this opportunity I had never had any pots in a salt glazed kiln, so greener than green. Anyway, prepared some pots. Hi Sheena. Prepared some pots and had some pots already that we chose to put into the kiln. So I'm just going to bring the camera a bit closer so that you can see. This is sort of, for the most part, the more interesting pieces. There were some others that weren't quite so interesting, or didn't come out quite so well. Perhaps I'll just take the camera off of the tripod here, and then yeah. So as you can see here, along the back here, I've got a row of small pictures, which I was reasonably pleased with. That, as this picture here I'm holding up, that I like, that kind of result, where you get some of that orange peel, as they call it, the orange peel effect. Others came out darker. Some of them had not so much interest on one side, or darker and plainer, but on the other side they had the orange peel. In fact, on some of these I did decorate. You can see there I think you can see there a decoration I did in iron oxide, slightly lost with the salt. Here's one that is more heavily salted. You can see the salt running down off of the rim there. The decoration that I put on that one, again, rather subdued, rather lost. Yeah, sometimes you see it's not good to over decorate, because just let the clay speak, let the firing process speak, and don't feel that you have to always decorate everything. I was a little bit just experimenting, just to see what was going on there. So as you can see there, so they're not a bad little group of pictures. Over on the end here I had this triple bowl, which is, I don't know if you've seen me make these, but it's just 3 GP bowls that are pushed together. There you can see the effect of more heavy salting on one side than the other. You can see the little pads there where the wads were. Here we have a little, in fact I think this one featured in one of my videos, a little olive oil jar based on a glass one that I had, that I kind of liked the style of it. Again, you see I did a little scratched decoration there of an olive branch, which works very well, doesn't it, with the salt, I think. These are a couple of little covered pots that I did. So wads on the bottom there, as you can see. And I wasn't sure about the lid, whether to do... I had several of these actually, of these jam type pot type ones. I wasn't sure whether to... In fact, this one, yeah, this one you can see I put wads, so I just raised it up a little way above the jam pot like that with wads. The thing is, if you don't do that and you put the lid somewhere separate in the kiln, and then you find that the lid gets separated from the body and maybe doesn't get the same amount of salt, and then when you put the lid back it looks a bit out of place, you know, because it's was fired somewhere differently and it got a different amount of salt. This was a little was actually a demonstration I did on a workshop, just demonstrate a rolling of a rim, and it was a cylinder that was much taller, but it got reduced down and down and down. Anyway, that one actually came out rather nicely, didn't it? The nice orange peel effect. This was a little trinket box that I made. It's actually a thrown form. It's thrown like that on the wheel, and then it's knocked out of shape, and then I cut it out on the side. You see, put these little feet. This one actually is cracked. You see that? See that crack down in there? It was actually cracked before he went in the kiln, but I just wanted to put him in anyway. I had about 20 of these mugs, which come out quite nice. Some nicer than others. This is like a sort of average one. It's come out fairly well. Again, you see this kind of scratch decoration, which I did with the, incidentally, with the lemon zester. Remember, we've talked about the lemon zester, so that's that one. I think some of the more successful ones that came out actually were these juicers, which I made over the last winter, didn't I? They featured in a clip, and we tested them out in the kitchen. Boy, they worked really well. I was kind of pleased with that. The way, you see, it's got this little built-in strainer here where I'm touching with my thumb, and that really does keep the pips and the pith out of the juice, so you can then pour the juice out. I think, being critical of myself, if I was going to make these again, which I probably will, although they're a piece of work. Pardon the expression, but you know what I mean. There's a lot, you know, there. I think if I was going to do them again, what I would do is make the size here, in other words, the capacity for the amount of lemon juice I could squeeze, perhaps just a little more, so I would throw them just a little deeper. But yeah, they came out actually pretty well. In fact, will next time I go to make those, I will I'll demonstrate with one of these so you can see. So that's that. We had a couple of these little covered boxes that I had, and actually I had a Temuku glaze in here, but it's gone completely green, which I don't really care for. But anyway, this one was like a little... Now again, you see, these were fired face down, like, well, that was fired like that in the kiln, and that was fired face down like that, because I wanted to get the salt here, you see, on the top to maximize the effect. Whereas this one, you'll notice, by contrast, if you turn them upside down, you see this is somewhat different, isn't it, than that. And probably what I should have done is fire that upside down as well, I don't know. But, well, the thing was, you see, in retrospect one is always wiser, but I think what I would have done is, but you can't really, but you know, usually in the kiln I fire these face to face. I fired when I say face to face, I mean with the lid in place like that. And now I've fired these separately, and I put them back together, and I don't know if you can see, but the lid doesn't want to sit, doesn't want to actually sit flat down on the base, you know? It's like the lid has shrunk a bit, or the base has expanded, one of the two, I don't know. So that's that one, and then of course there's this one, which is the sort of same story. I don't know what's going on here, but you see the way I trimmed out the base of that. Well, what's happened now is the little thing in the middle there, the little raised point, now is decided that he's sticking down, and look what happens. So he's, you know, it's like rock around the clock with that guy. This is another little, I think I may have showed you this actually at some point. It was another one of those little demo pieces I did, and we did fire the lid, not down in there, but with wads just raised up like that. This is one that's done with the potato peeler, and it kind of came out kind of interesting. But so there, yeah, there's that. And then there's this guy, which you're probably wondering what that is. That actually, from a salt point of view, look at that. Didn't it come out wonderfully? The orange peel effect on that. Yeah, that's a little soap. That's a little soap dish, which contains the water inside it, so it doesn't spill out and drip everywhere on the sideboard or on your countertop or wherever. I've actually had a few of these knocking around, but I've not really got around to firing them. This one's got a bit of rock, you see, like that. See him rocking? And that's the thing, you see, when you put these wads on the feet here, you can end up with the pot, when you take the wads away, the pot doesn't. So I don't know how you get around that, but anyway, you just got a rocking dish, a rocking soap dish. Okay, this is the last thing I've got here to show you, which is another kind of olive oil bottle with a thrown stopper. Again, I do these usually, but I don't do them in the salt, so everything it has to be wadded up and done slightly differently. I would usually fire these stoppers in place, clean them out, clean the glaze away, and then but I had to fire the stopper separately. The stopper got covered in salt. Anyway, and that one did have a decoration of an olive branch here. Got kind of lost, didn't it? Oh well. And there it is. So that's that. Yeah. Okay folks, thanks for joining us. I did actually have a couple of other pieces. They were teapots. They didn't come out that well. They were a little bit... It came out, let's say, a little bit dark like this, with not much sort of character to them. Although they were fluted, and one had a potato peel effect on it. But I'm not showing you those just because they're not that interesting to show you. This is just a cross section of some of those pots that we had out from the firing. So it's kind of interesting, and I think I'd be interested in actually converting an electric kiln, an old electric kiln, into a salt kiln, or if not a salt kiln, a soda kiln. I think that would be a good project, don't you? And but of course, if we use the soft brick of the electric kiln, then we're going to have to put some kind of wash over it to protect it from the aggressive nature of the salt, which tends to eat into the brick. Okay, so that's it. Hey, thanks for joining us. Please visit my website, simonleachpottery.com. We've got pottery tools there, we've got some trim tools, and they are going, so if you're interested in a trim tool, I should get one before they all go. And what else? Yeah, we've got a workshop coming up October 11th and 12th, so if you're interested, please join us here in Millheim, central Pennsylvania. That's 16854. We're right slap back in the middle. I'm trying to say slap in the middle of Pennsylvania. So yeah, please join us. We've got some spare places. I've got about 3 spare places, so come along, join us before the winter. All right, hey, last but not least, keep practicing. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.